Good morning everyone. Today I'm going to be analysing EU and DXY to see what day trading opportunities we could have for today. You're going to see my strategy and analysis, so if you're interested in those then stick around. Let's begin. We're on the daily chart for EU. So what we can see so far is that we had this big CPI bearish candle. This mitigated the daily fair value gap. And yesterday we closed out as a bullish doji, right? So the momentum of that bearish move has stopped. We have our previous daily high, previous daily low, and you can see that our previous daily high has now been swept. But we also have a further fair value gap here, even visible on the daily, that price may need to fill. On the 4 hour now, we have this bearish range. You can see here, we are in a discount. You can do it from either here or here. Either way, we are visibly still in the discount of this leg. We still have this 4 hour fair value gap as well. That's visible. We can see price took that daily fair value gap, mitigated it. We also have this 4 hour order block, which I mentioned in my video yesterday. And with both of, let's make sure you can see that order block there, which I mentioned in my previous video. So I said it makes sense that if price mitigated this daily fair value gap and 4 hour order block, that we may have a bullish day yesterday, which we did. Price has pulled back. We're partially within this fair value gap, and today we have swept this previous daily high, and we have this 4 hour fair value gap below, which has only partially been mitigated as well. So we have, even just on the 4 hour, we have draws for price on both sides. Now it may fill this one first, or it may fill this one first, right? So let's look into the hourly. On the 1 hour, again, I've got some more notes here. You can see yesterday where I mentioned about the sell side liquidity swept, POI mitigating discount. We had this 1 hour order block, which I said may prove as some resistance, but we blew through that. The draw of the higher time frame POI fair value gap, or even this 1 hour order block now deep within the premium, you can see my note here, premium POI price draw, caused price to do that. So overnight you can see we created a range. We got our previous daily high and our Asia high, which has now been swept. So buy side liquidity internally at least has now been swept. So the 1 hourly closed out as a high test. We may see price continue to trend here, right? We have taken buy side liquidity, and sometimes the trend will just take over from there, even though we are in discount, and we may continue lower. However, we're going to want to see some structure shifts on the lower time frame. Now, of course, even though we've taken up buy side liquidity, we still have these POIs here that I've mentioned that price would need to fill. So we may continue bullish. Right, so we can't make any assumptions yet, which is why I see both sides and I'm willing to trade both directions today if I see the right things. On the M15 here, we can see the story so far. As I said, we've got the Asia, we've got this range from overnight, we have swept it. Price hasn't quite been bearish yet. We haven't seen the 15-minute structure here. We've still got this higher high made. Price hasn't reacted and created a lower low. So shorts don't look probable yet. If we create some structure here and then break lower, then maybe it'll look better. So if price was to, make another high here, then break down, and then we get our pullback to a POI here, we may then see that further move down, right? So that would be for shorts. However, price of course may just continue upwards, make a new high, and then we get our pullback to our POI and we reach for this higher time frame area. That's the two scenarios I'm seeing and willing to trade just from analyzing EU. I think both are fairly highly probable, ones with trend, ones with the internal trend, and the pullback with this POI as a price draw. Let's go over to DXY and see if that agrees with us. So on the DXY daily chart here, obviously similar to EU, we had the big CPI day bullish candle. Now yesterday we closed out as this bearish doji after taking some liquidity. we've mitigated the weekly fair value gap, right? We have this fair value gap below price here, still on the daily time frame. So price definitely has confluences to go lower on DXY, which is obviously higher on EU. However, we still have, you know, these high time frame draws here. We have a massive fair value gap that's yet to fill. Just while we're on the higher time frames, of course, because we've come into this weekly fair value gap and we are on the Thursday, it would make sense if we respect that weekly fair value gap in a weekly close that we would close below it. So it's just something to note. So 4 hour here, you can see we still have this 4 hour bullish range, bullish leg. Price, since sweeping that liquidity internally, has broken down bearish. We have swept our previous daily low, but this candle is showing, you know, we don't have any bullish momentum to send EU short, right? We have further discount POIs here and that massive fair value gap, which we also may fill. So again, we can see both sides. We've taken some sell side liquidity, but it may not be enough to change the fact price needs to seek out sell side liquidity further in discount. On the 1 hour, we show more of the same picture, except for you can see internally we've now created, you know, this lower low. We've broken this internal low, we violated this 1 hour order block, and now we've broken down and we look to be heading towards these 4 hour, 1 hour POIs here. The previous hour closed out as a low test, but this hour is about to close out as a bearish engulfing, pretty much with 10 minutes left. We do have a price draw above here, so price could potentially, you know, move bullish in the short term. So EU would be bearish short term until we mitigate this, and then it could continue downwards. So these are the things we need to consider. Let's go to the 15M so we can see it a bit clearly. The lower time frame is yet to shift bullish on DXY from taking this sell side liquidity. Same with EU, it's yet to shift bearish, so it may continue with that upwards trend on EU. These are my two scenarios so far that I would like to see. We do have news today, some red folder news, so I'm not sure how London is going to move exactly, but as long as the structure shifts on the lower time frame and shows me a direction, then I'm willing to trade either direction, kind of favoring the bullish side for today, just to go along with DXY and these high time frame POIs. So I hope that was clear. If there's anything that I didn't explain, let me know in the comments, and remember to subscribe. I'll see you guys soon.